as we can see, we're gapping up quite a bit on the French election results, above the high of April 5th, and pretty much in line with where we sold off from the 21st. So you can see this on the 4-hour chart. So we had put in the high in the market at the beginning of March. We'd come off $2. We were consolidating for a couple of days. We gapped higher, and then we got crushed. And you can see 237.60 all the way down to 233.60. So this is one of the largest intraday moves we've ever seen. I remember there being a catalyst that day. Sort of happened. And then the next week, we gapped down to 232, put in the low. We almost got back up to the failure spot, got hit again. This time, we put in a higher low. It looked like maybe perhaps we were setting up to do one of these. But we went in and got our test down towards the 232 area, higher low. And then we noted the next day was a higher low, higher low, higher low. So we got a few higher lows. And there was a little bit of nervous selling going into the French election here. And now we gap up to this area here. Now, what I said in our morning meeting to the traders was this is the opposite. Kind of on the Brexit vote, on the US election, things were kind of the opposite, right? The market didn't like initially the results of those votes and gapped down big and rallied to flat and then to positive, and it became pretty clear, at least by the day following those events, that it was a buy the dip, buy the event mentality. This time it's initial buy. The question is, will we see some selling? I think it would be very unusual for us to sell from here all the way back down kind of the support from last week. But tested this area here, 236 to 236.30. That's $1.20 to $1.50 from where we are now. That doesn't seem out of the question. It wouldn't be in line with this pattern of higher low that we've seen over the last week. So that's kind of my thought for downside. Obviously tough to be getting long up in this area here. Let's take a look at IWM. So here's the IWM multi-month consolidation. And as we've said many times, a bit different than the SPYs in the sense that it was just a tight horizontal consolidation for a couple months. Then it worked its way towards a tighter consolidation between 38 and 40 before coming back inside of this. And then there's some wild up and down here for the last month or so. And we're right back in here towards the top, gapping above 138.50, actually 139.50 right now. So if we extend this out, and we say, okay, the range here, this was kind of the top consolidation. We're smack dab in the middle of it. So one of the worst things you can do, and this goes pretty much for any time, whatever time frame you trade on, is when something gets in the middle of a range, there's nothing worse than putting on a position in the middle of a range. So if you're trading a higher time frame trader and you're trying to get long 39.5 or short of 39.5, when you know that the resistance is here and the potential support is here, that's no edge trading. So let's like zoom into the last time we were up in this area here. So it was back in February 13th to March 1st, so mid to late February. We had some wild moves here. You can kind of see we were above 40 a couple of days this day here. The next day we got crushed from 40 to 37.80. And then we got up to 40 again a couple of days later, and we got crushed to 37.80 again. And then we took out the high here, getting people to think probably, hey, we're really going to break to the upside. And then by the next day, we were back down at 38.70, and then the following day 37.70. So this is a very tough area for the small caps. So the first thing I would look for is to see if there's some profit taking, bringing you down to 38.80 to 39 in this area right here, and then we'll see. All right, Hasbro, HAS. So MAT and HAS usually report around the same time, same sector. HAS obviously the opposite in terms of results and price action so far. And HAS has been on an incredible uptrend. If we go to the daily chart, so it was on this really nice multi-year uptrend. And, you know, they have the Marvel and the Star Wars toys. Interestingly enough, this quarter, was really good despite weak numbers out of the Star Wars Marvel stuff, which tends to pick up during the summer. After the big move up, it's consolidated between, let's call it 60, well, 70. It did fill the gap here, tested that gap fill. People bought obviously there. It's 70 to 87 for a while. And we noted when it broke out of that consolidation. And anytime you have a longer consolidation, in this case from April of 2015 to January 2017, which is, I don't know what that is, 20 months or something, that's long enough for that sort of gap to hold, and it did. It was upside follow through. The shorter these consolidations, the more likely you are to see a failure. The gap just hasn't had enough time to kind of digest. In this case, held the 93, and for a while held 97 and broke above 100. We failed. So now today we have our second shot at holding above 100 here. Now we do have a reference of, we already saw a couple of major stocks. We saw Visa, we saw Netflix, gapping higher to new highs on earnings the last couple of weeks, and they sold off pretty good. So that's kind of our frame of reference. But right now we are above the prior high. So we want to think up unless we get below this 101 here. Again, it's a little bit different in terms of it's not going to trade as much in the after hours and pre-market. And actually, I think it just reported pre-market, right? Whereas you have the benefit in Visa and Netflix, they report in the after hours. You get some after hours trading, then you get them pre-market trading against the after hours. But still, new high above 101. And if it does fail, meaning if it gets below 101 on the open, and let's say comes into 100 and gives us some room to operate with, and we see the lower high, we can look for it to move down into what I put on the sheet, 99. But if it has that deeper pull in 90.5, all the way down to 90, 97. So we want to be aware of that possibility. So it's only done 50,000 shares in the pre-market. They're on the conference call right now. I'd be careful about entering into long positions unless it was closer to the prior high area, at least until after 10 a.m. when you kind of see the intraday where the volumes come in. The next one is Halliburton, HAL. This one seems to be also on a conference call right now. So there was really not much here. The EPS was 4 cents instead of 3 cents. The revenue was pretty much in line. Let's take a look at the daily. So it's been pretty wild. Obviously got crushed with oil initially. What the fuck? Somebody just logged into my meeting? Ugh. I'm assuming I'm gone now? Fucking unbelievable. Am I back? Okay, it appears I'm back. Hopefully. Somebody just put in the chat if you can hear me. Something strange just happened. I got logged off for a second. Anyway, I'll continue. So Halliburton came off with oil bottom at the beginning of 2016, And rally back as well. So let's go to so it was in a downtrend the last 5 days or so. Inline numbers, I don't know if that's going to be enough really to get it through this. So it broke down here on Wednesday around 48.40 or so. Did put in a low down here closer to 47. So we have this little consolidation area. So these are the spots I'd be looking at right here, and then here and here. And it already did get up to this 48.30 in the pre-market. Just come off. Let's see where we open up. Let's use 48, kind of 48.15, potentially support if we open above here. If we're below, then we'll look for the move into 47.40, 47. Oil's really not up that much right now. AKTX. So this is one that we got involved with. Here's the 30-minute. Let's zoom out. So it had this move here to 18 and then came off and we got long. Then it went back up to 18 again. I think I sold it here and then it went higher and it came back down. I don't recall buying it back down in this 13 to 14 area, but it certainly was a buy the closer it got to where it broke out from to 12.5. It held here at 13, 13.5. And then it got back above the 16, tested the high again. So some pretty good price action over the last month. And moving, off of clearly defined prior areas of support and resistance and breaking out cleanly. Closing above this area here, above 16, and then testing it the next morning and ripping up to 20, 50, like the prior high area. That's pretty good. So today they have, I guess, their equivalent of like an analyst day. So already in the pre-market, it was down. At least there were some rogue prints down in the 17.5, 18 area. So that would be a spot where you would think you'd be looking to buy it right here. You got 20 or 21 resistance. All right, GE. So GE gave it a shot on the long side right into this 30 on Friday. Didn't work, so took a small loss there. It did come into 29.50. Did not try to. I think what happened was I was bidding a little bit lower, maybe in the 30s or something, down into this area here. So I didn't get long into this. It's gapping up this morning with the market. We want to see what happens at 30 to 30.05. Melted right through that on Friday. Will this act as resistance, this area right here? If it doesn't, above that 30.15-ish is the next spot to look for resistance. And then obviously the lows from Friday, 29.50 to 29.60 would be where you're looking for your support. Mattel, we talked about this in Friday morning meeting. The numbers were horrendous. The only reason that potentially it might not get crushed is just because it was down from the highest. But shorting the pop into 24 area, we discussed in the morning meeting, did that, it worked. Immediately it was back down at 23. Didn't do a great job of finding spots to, once it showed that initial weakness, kind of following through for them to selling the rest of the day. It wasn't exactly the cleanest. I mean, this was your first consolidation below 22.50, which is $1.50 below where we were shorting it on the open. So I could understand people being reluctant here. Here's the first down move. No real bounce. Second down move, shallow. No real bounce, shallow. And then finally, you got your sideways action. So, I mean, this is a short until proven otherwise. I put 22.30 to 22.50. Yeah, so anywhere in this area here, shorting it, remove down to Friday's low, and then potentially working its way all the way down to $20 if you look at the longer term. The next one is Visa, which I referenced earlier in relation to kind of that similar price action to Netflix. It was up at 94 after the earnings. Next morning we came in, kind of failed in that area. By the time the market opened, it was $1 lower. They hammered it. Didn't really have much of a bounce. Now it's up with the market this morning, and so you kind of say to yourself, okay, you put in a new. Okay, so it was way away from the prior high. It did come down to the prior high by the end of the day there. But if it kind of follows in a similar path to Netflix, maybe not today because of how much the market's up, but it would move back down into this consolidation area where at a minimum start to hold below 91. So this morning, it's already come off about a half a point from the pre-market high, but let's call it 92.50. If it fails in that area there, starts to hold below 92, we can work for it to kind of come back down into this prior to earnings consolidation areas. The next one is Maxim, MXIM. This is one we said the numbers didn't look particularly bad. Why was it gapping down to 43? Bought a little bit in the pre-market down there. Said buy anything below 43. Unfortunately, it started to bounce in the pre-market. And so you had to, once you saw it holding above 43, 43.40, you had to commit to it here. Eventually bounced to 45 at the end of the day. So that was one where we said, hey, the numbers don't look bad. It's gapping down. Why? It's got to get back above the prior low. It did. Here was the prior low at 43.40. It rallied from there, and now it's pretty much back to 45. So I don't know if it's going to have anything beyond this 45 here. And then SKX, this similar to Mattel, got hammered right on the open, went straight down. Pretty deep. I guess the low was this support area from a couple of weeks ago, around 25-ish, a little bit above 25. What do I put on the sheet? It's 24.75 and 25.25. And the two support areas. Let's look this morning, see if it makes a higher low. See what happens here at this 25.50. If it supports here at 25.50, then takes out this resistance from Friday, 25.80. I walk into a move back up to here. That is all. As always, be patient and good luck.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important, and how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.